What's good, everybody? It is Monday, February 20th. This is the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting. And it's not even close. Tip of the cap, John Rahm getting it done at the Genesis. How about team, LeBron getting it done? Jason Tatum at Forte Sensei. Congratulations to you, because you are our very first winner of the Pick the Prop little thing we're going to do here on the Early Edge. But a solid day at the brand, anchored by our five-tool player, AB, hitting all of his college baseball moneyline parlays. You guys ask, we deliver. The counselor, 1-0-1. This Jamie guy, this new Jamie guy, every day he has winners all over the place. So a really good day at the crew. But we want to know, because you guys tell us in the chat all the time how good you are, how much better you are than us. Well, we want you to prove it. March Madness is right around the corner, almost here, and you know what that means. It means brackets. Come lock in your spot now for the 2023 Early Edge March Madness Bracket Challenge as we all compete against each other. It's free for tournament glory and prizes too. Simply scan the QR code or go to tinyurl.com/theearlyedge to look or lock in your spot now. Can't even read this morning. All right, let's bring in the stars of the show. You know them, you love them, and on a Monday, does it get any better than this? First and foremost, live from Sin City, Las Vegas. We call him Zack Attack. He is Zack Cimini. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen, Coach and Larry. February 20th, so you know it's getting towards the tail end of conference play. Most teams have about 4 matchups left before we get into the conference tournaments, which is always fun. And then, of course, March Madness. It's not just March Madness. We know there's the NIT and all those other lovely lower-level tournaments we're going to be talking about all the way through April.
Yeah, I always say this, whether it's the NIT or the tournament or the CIT or the MIN, whatever it is, at the pay window, they never say anything. They never say anything. All right, next, in addition to Zack Attack, we have one of our true OGs. He is the maestro, Larry Hartstein. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. I really tried. I just couldn't watch that last night. And I know that Mike Malone feels the same way. LeBron probably feels the same way. He was the only guy that tried to play any defense and he got hurt. I just couldn't watch it. It's just unwatchable. But I don't know what the solution is other than just doing a skills competition. I mean, it was worse than the JCC in terms of defense.
Mike Malone, his quote was this, Maestro: the worst basketball game ever played. Ever. When an over is over 325, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But you know what is not ridiculous? Let me find it in the chat. Oh, where is it? Well, I can't find it because there's too many people watching right now. But somebody in the chat said they turned our moneyline parlays from $84 into over $400 yesterday. That's what we're worried about, not the NBA All-Star game. All right, boys, if you are ready, let's get into it. Storylines that could affect the betting lines today. And as I look at my notes tonight, maybe a little revenge on the minds of the Kansas Jayhawks. Maestro, start us off.
Yeah, huge revenge spot for Bill Self and the Jayhawks. They lost 83-60 at home, one of the worst home losses ever for that program, and it was the worst home loss by a top 3 team in a long time. And now they go to TCU. TCU favored by 1.5. Early money came in on the Horned Frogs. Of course, they got Mike Miles back last game Saturday against Oklahoma State, which has a good defense, and they put up 100. And Mike Boynton, the coach of Oklahoma State, said, well, when you get the best player in the best conference back, it's going to make a difference. And the Horned Frogs are fully healthy for this one. Kevin McCullough, a key guard for Kansas. He's banged up. Not sure if he's going to go, but Kansas has gotten a lot better, especially inside since that first meeting. Cannot wait to watch this one. So far, I am not on either side.
I'm thinking over maybe, because Saturday, I don't know if it was you, somebody else on the site had the over with Baylor, and it went into the 160s, 170s, Baylor and Kansas. So maybe something to look at. Maybe we'll have a pick on that in Early Edge in 5. By the way, we need to do something with one of our faithful followers. Look at Will in the chat, everybody. He says, watching in class without volume because I needed to be here. It doesn't matter how. But he can't hear me say, hey, Will, how's class? Get those tests done. But he doesn't know. So let's write hashtag hey, Will, into the chat. Just hashtag, hey, Will, then he'll know without the volume that we're thinking about him in class. just like later today, Maestro, in your big class that you teach, I will be the professor. Zach, do you know I'm going to be a professor today?
What do you guys got going on today?
Oh, I'm teaching Maestro's class today.
Coach, as far as I understand, I'm still the professor. You're the guest speaker. I didn't know you were coming in to take over.
Hey, it's just kind of my style. Oh, I'm looking forward to it, though. I am pumped up. But not as pumped up as teams right now are to see the North Carolina Tar Heels on their schedule. I got to be honest, Zach. I watched that North Carolina State game, and it was one of the most fun atmospheres I've seen all season. It was bananas. And the Wolfpack ended up winning by 10. What's happening to the former preseason #1 team in the country?
Well, Coach, I mean, you look at North Carolina now, the season's almost over. So this is one of the most disappointing stories in sports in a long, long time. This day and age in college basketball where players are coming and going. In the portal, North Carolina had their top players come back. Armando Bacak, RJ Davis, Caleb Love. All their players come back, and they've been flat the entire season. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games now, 16-11. And you look at the bracketology right now, Joey Lenardi had them as the last 4 in. With that loss yesterday, they have to be on the outside looking in with 4 games left. They have to face Duke again, who they already lost to. A matchup against Virginia, which is kind of a must-win scenario. And then 2 other games that they should win, I think Florida State and somebody else. So definitely in danger zone where they probably have to beat Virginia and then have a good run in the ACC tournament just to get in. A very, very disappointing story in college basketball this year.
I wonder if it's ever happened, Zach, that a preseason #1 didn't even make the tournament. Do you think that's ever happened?
I don't think it has. I hope they get in, though. I hope they get in.
I mean, it's really almost baffling to see Duke and North Carolina have so many losses on the record. We're just not used to it.
I will say, you remember when UConn won, and then they were banned the next year, and then they barely got in. They were a 10th seed, and they ended up winning. So maybe we'll see what happens.
That was an amazing run. It really was. All right. We've got you covered top to bottom. Just because Zach and Maestro are here on the screen, we got Berg Bets. We've got M Squared in the chat. So if you have any questions for them, go ahead and put them in the chat. They will answer them in real time. The crew is always live and hopping. But before we get to our board for the day, we got to pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our incredible partners.
Italy's best clubs and brightest stars bring show-stopping skills and unbelievable thrills in the fight to the finish for the Scudetto. Stream every Serie A match live on Paramount Plus.
My man Sean in the chat says, I took a futures ticket on the Tar Heels. What a bad idea that was. Hey, Sean, we've all done it. We've all done it. There's nothing worse than watching that ticket just sit there for 4 months either. That's why I'm not a big fan of futures. I just don't like them because of that reason. All right, now we've got some of our best in the chat. I have 2 of my very best right here. And Zack Attack, we just talked about TCU, how they're starting to get healthy. They're starting to play better. Another team in the Big 12, at least to me, is starting to play better, and they play out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Start us off.
Yeah, today a good solid matchup in the Big 12, Oklahoma State versus West Virginia. I'm going to take the points +5. Now, I do think West Virginia wins this game, so this happens a lot in college basketball where you can take the points and take the money line on the other side, but I just think it's a little too many points with both teams playing 48 hours ago. And both teams have actually been losing. West Virginia's lost 2 straight. Oklahoma State's lost 3 straight. But I look back at the prior matchup. Oklahoma State won 67-60. So you know this is going to be a lower scoring game. Tired legs tonight. And to me, it's just Oklahoma State's coming out of a gauntlet of playing the top teams in the Big 12. Is probably why the spread is a tad bit too high. But Oklahoma State, they've lost against Iowa State, Kansas, and then just blown out by TCU on Saturday, who of course got Miles Jr. and Lampkin Jr. back. So they played the gauntlet of teams, but I just like them to come into this game and play that defensive strategy that's had them at 7-4 at one time in conference play. I know they've lost 3 straight, but West Virginia is just 4-10 in conference. Take the better team here with Oklahoma State plus the points. West Virginia money line.
Love the Cowboys in this spot. Any Big 12 team surging, and we're going to get 5. I'll take that all day. All right, we got 2 plays from SportsLine itself. And if you're not a SportsLine member yet, what are you doing? Use the promo code EARLY. You know what? You get 30 days for free. So if you're a little apprehensive, remember, when you do this 7 days a week, it's all about knowledge. It's all about understanding what's happening. It's a business for a reason. Don't shortchange yourself. Come be a part of what we're doing. Trust us. It's hard to win, but let's do it together. All right, our first play, we're going to the ice. Jeff Hochman, one of our great NHL cappers at SportsLine, he says this about the Penguins here tonight. This is a big revenge game for the Penguins. The Islanders defeated Pittsburgh 5-4 on Friday, despite being outshot by 16, 44-28. Penguins squandered a ton of opportunities, 2-goal leads, the whole thing. This is a great revenge spot. And I love the juice at only minus 127. Then out here on the West Coast, there's so many of these teams, the UC Fullertons, the UCSBs, all these teams, but some can score in sneaky spots. And our simulations say that Cal State Fullerton and UCSB over 129.5. We're getting several points of the word we hate the most, value. And it's a little late night game out here as well. So enjoy that. All right, you guys know every single day, if you're brand new to this show, it's called the Maestro Spots. You have to earn it. You got to either be on a heater, be an OG. There's a lot of ways to qualify. But when the man himself is here, there is no discussion. Maestro, floor is yours.
Okay, I'm going to take a big favorite and a big underdog. Starting with the big underdog, the Louisville Cardinals. That was an emotional win over Clemson. They were celebrating a national championship reunion. But if you look, they are playing better. I know they're 4-23, but they've played 3 straight solid games, lost by 8 to Miami, lost by 3 to Virginia in a game they were getting double digits at home. And now they're getting 18.5 at Duke. Duke coming off maybe its best performance of the season, dominated Syracuse. I think every single basket was assisted. It was like the perfect game, but Duke has not covered 2 straight all season. And Louisville has some talent, and they are playing hard. I don't think even if they do get down 20, which very well could happen, that they are going to stop fighting. And I think we could get a backdoor cover, or we could get a cover throughout. So I do like Louisville plus the points. This opened all the way at 20 at some books. That was definitely too high. And then I will take the Norfolk State Spartans laying the 14.5. Mad Max is with me on this one. It's senior night, and they are hosting one of the worst teams in the conference, Coppin State, that they already beat by 31 on the road. Their 2 best players are seniors, and Coppin State had a pretty big game against Howard a couple of days ago. They left it all out there. The best player scored 37 points. He had an incredible game, and now a couple days later, they have to travel to the other top team in the MEAC. I think it's got blowout written all over it. I'll just add one more thing. The Spartans have the best shooting in the conference, and they also hold opponents to the lowest shooting. You have Norfolk State, the worst offensive team. Coppin State, the worst offensive team going up against them. I'm laying the points.
And for at least one more night, college basketball will have the slate all to themselves with the NHL. Now, we have a lot of new people coming to the brand here, Maestro, so I'd love to take just a second, because I always like to say that Early Edge, a lot of people think Early Edge, SportsLine, the same thing. Yes, we are the same thing, but there's so much more at SportsLine. We're just kind of a caveat. Who would be some of the cappers right now that are doing so well at SportsLine that people could kind of lean into?
Yeah, well, I was just taking a look at it. Matt Severance is a high volume, highly successful bettor that you can see a lot of his picks. Jeff Hochman is kind of the opposite. He's not high volume. You gave out one of his picks. He's very selective. He'll go a few days without a pick. But when he releases something, especially in hockey, you want to take a look. Mad Max, amazing on college basketball. Of course, Mike McClure's simulations for the totals have been great. So there's just a ton. You got to check it out. And I'm not even getting into tennis, golf, MMA, and everything else that you get.
It's all. And after the 30 days, I mean, it's kind of part of my job, but I truly believe this. If you're going to be in this business, and so many more people are, go check out prices other places, and then you'll come back. You'll come back. I promise you. Yes, go ahead.
And I neglected Berg, who's in the chat. We got him late last year. Profitable in baseball, profitable in NBA, profitable in college basketball. So he's delivering. And Micah Roberts, the old timer, the former bookmaker, is actually overall for the season. He's been the best in college basketball. So he's another guy. And he looks at, I don't know if we have a minute, but I had dinner with him out at the Super Bowl. Uh-huh. He lives out there. And I said, Michael, what are you doing tonight? You watching the games? He's like, no, I'll go through them in the morning. I'll go through the box scores. I'll watch if I need to. He said it's all power ratings, it's box scores. He's a different cat. He is a different cat, and he worked in the books, for 20 years.
We've got a lot of different kinds of people. That's what makes the crew the crew. It's hard. It's hard, but damn it, we love it. And we love that you trust us here. We want you to tell all of your friends because this is a lot of light in your day when days are long sometimes. All right, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here's the recap courtesy of the Steak on the ones and twos. And don't forget, early edge and 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time today with more best bets for the night in sports. Louisville plus 18.5, a great spot until the books catch up with Louisville getting better. Plus 18.5 at a very inconsistent Duke team. We'll take that. Norfolk State minus 14.5. Then Zack Attack. He's on one play tonight. Oklahoma State plus 5. Then 2 plays from SportsLine itself. Cal State Fullerton, UCSB over 129.5. And the Penguins on the money line minus 135. All right, do not forget on Wednesday, we have now moved to Tuesday, our brand new golf show. Last week, we hit our first round leader. C hit a bunch. I hit Jason Day, top 10. We had a really good week. The early wedge, 3 p.m. Eastern now on Tuesdays. But with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Maestro, Zack Attack, Berg Betts, M Squared in the chat. Yes, we've got you covered top to bottom, left to right. We love it. This is the end of our week, so let's make it count. Let's cash some tickets right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.